contractor proudly serving residential and commercial customers. With Green Air, efficient solutions are just a phone call away. 1-0 pitch. Lorenzo hammers this way back over to left field. Hill gives it a look, but that one is gone. Tyron Lorenzo gives the Seawolves the early lead with his 7th home run of the season, and it's 2-0 Seawolves in the bottom of the first. And a low fastball that he belted out of here, 402 feet and 110 on the exit velo. So a 2-run homer for the Seawolves, and they have had quite a few of them this year. It's already a 2-run advantage for them. Now here's Jake Holton for Whitman, and the first pitch is taken for a called strike. Whitman does not allow many home runs. That's only his 4th that he's allowed this season with Richmond. The 0-1 pitch. That misses high and away to even the count for Holton. So the Seawolves with 2 runs on 1 swing. 7 home runs now on the year for Lorenzo. 1-1 pitch. Called strike. Slider hit the outside edge. And it goes now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Whitman looking for a bounce back here as he's ahead of Holton. Right-handed hitter against the lefty Whitman. Has a glove right by his chest, raises it up, now fires. And the breaking ball misses in the dirt to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm talking with Dennis Pelfrey on our pregame conversation in weeks past. He describes Whitman as a bulldog and a competitor. 2-2 offer is bounced over to third base, but it rolls foul. And just the way that he goes about his work and going out there and competing every day. When he's been on the mound, the Flying Squirrels have found some success. That 7-inning complete game he had against the Flying Squirrels, they won 3-1. 2-2 pitch is popped up foul and out of play. Back 2 starts ago, matched his career high with 7, or back 1 start ago, he matched his career high with 7 scoreless innings. Next pitch dealt home, and Holton swings and misses for strike 3, and that retires the side. But Tyron Lorenzo gives the Seawolves the early lead at 2-0 with a deep fly ball to left. We go to the top of the second, 2-0 Erie on Sports Radio 910 The Fan, 105.1 FM.
Summertime and the living is sneezy. Allergens, pet mess, and odors are cooking your carpets. You need Hadid Murder. Joe Hadid's unique combination of traditional methods and modern equipment gives your home or office a deep-down hygienic clean. Call today and take advantage of 10% off in-plant rug cleaning. And why tax yourself with a new Oriental rug or carpet when Hadid Mercer's expert repair and restoration team can renew at a fraction of the cost? Summer freshness. Visit HadidMercerRugCleaning.com today.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
Sometimes people make promises they can't keep.
I promise to lower taxes.
This won't hurt. I promise.
At Pearson, we're in the business of keeping our promises. Introducing the Pearson Signature Promise. A promise to take care of you before, during, and after the sale. Plus double the manufacturer warranty on every new vehicle. The Pearson Signature Dealerships. Taking care of Virginia drivers for over 50 years. Online at buypearson.com.
Taking care of you every way. That's the Pearson Promise.
It's Flying Squirrels Baseball with Trey Wilson and Blaine McCormick on Sports Radio 910 The Fan.
4, 5, and 6 batters due up for the Flying Squirrels here at UPMC Park as they trail the Seawolves 2-0. Tyron Lorenzo with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first inning to give Erie the early lead. Austin Bergner back to work, and he faces Turner Hill. First pitch misses way high for ball 1. So Hill playing in his second week with the Flying Squirrels. Joined them on the road and then came back to Richmond. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. Hill swings and misses to make the count 1-1. Over 5 games last week against the Senators, Hill put up 5 hits, including a double, 1 RBI, a couple of walks, and 2 stolen bases. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Hill pops this one up, foul and out of play. Back with the Flying Squirrels for his second year. He was named the 2024 Flying Squirrels Puritan Cleaners Dirty Squirrel of the Year. Time is called for. Hill backs out of the box, readjusts his batting gloves, and digs back in. 1 ball and 2 strike count. Bergner delivers. And a bouncer in the dirt that was in front of the plate by a good 1.5 yards. A bit of a loss of grip for Bergner there. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-handed hitter against the righty. Bergner allowed 1 hit in the first, but got a double play. He deals. Hill gets a piece of it as it lines foul to the back screen. Defensively for the Seawolves today, they have Trey Cruz over at third base. Jim Jarvis is a shortstop. Max Anderson is at second base, and Jake Holden is at first. In the outfield, it's Mendoza in left, Campos in center, Bigby in right, and Tyrone Lorenzo is the catcher. Next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. An outside fastball at 91 gets Turner swinging. And there's the first out of the second inning. So Cal Mitchell is next up for the Flying Squirrels. Another left-handed hitter in the batting order for Dennis Pelfrey. First pitch on the way. And Mitchell takes a called strike at the bottom of the zone. Flying Squirrels did have some movement today. Healthy amount of roster transactions. Barracoto back with the team. A 1 pitch. Mitchell takes low and in to even the count. So outfielder Victor Barracoto was reinstated from the 7-day injured list and assigned to AA Richmond from AAA Sacramento. Right-handed pitcher Ian Villers also joined the squad on the road this week from High Eugene. Next pitch, called a strike for Mitchell, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Some of the other moves, infielder Justin Wischkowski was assigned to High Eugene from Richmond, and right-hander Dylan Cumming was released. 1 ball and 2 strike count for Mitchell. Flying Squirrels trailing this game 2-0. Pitch on the way. And a chopper over towards second, fielded behind the bag by the shortstop Jarvis, and he sidearms to first to get out number 2. Towering, bouncing ball that hit in front of the pitcher's mound and then took another bound right behind the second base bag. So with a strikeout and a ground out, here's the designated hitter Jairo Pomares, who ended up being a clutch performer for Richmond back on Sunday. Broke up the no-hitter in the bottom of the 8th inning. First pitch. That misses outside for ball 1. Harrisburg starter Bryce Conley was very effective against the Squirrels, where he allowed no hits in his 7-inning start and threw close to 110 pitches. 1-0 toss is fouled to the back screen. But then in the 8th inning, Eric Mejia was called upon out of the Harrisburg bullpen, and Pomares was the first batter that he faced. Jairo ended up having a base hit to break up the no-hitter at that point. 1-1 pitch, skips in the dirt for a ball. And then later on in that 8th inning, Iverson Arteaga had a single to score Pomares and break the shutout. Flying Squirrels still lost to the Senators 5-1, but avoided the history books. 2 ball and 1 strike count. The pitch. Pomares swings and misses at the 92 fastball, and it goes even at 2-2. Flying Squirrels as a franchise have yet to be no hit in a game. either through 7 innings or 9. Bergner readies up with a 2-2 pitch. He sends it home. And Pomares takes low and in. Moves the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. A little bit of a sly delivery from Bergner. As he had his leg up, he all of a sudden froze it where his foot was about even with his belt line. Trying to throw off the timing for Pomares. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. That's a 1-2-3 inning in the books in the second. Flying Squirrels go down in order. 2-0 lead for the Seawolves as we go to the home half of the second on Sports Radio 910 The Fan and 105.1 FM.
The extra people making a difference in our community. Those with an amazing story to tell.
Proud to be the first Black American to command the ship named after the first Black Admiral.
Local athletes you've never heard of.
The world is your oyster and you hold the pearl.
Those who feel they've been overlooked. The voiceless, the powerless.
I believe my daughter's out there somewhere. I just want to know what happened to my son.
We're here for everyone. CBS 6, your voice, your community.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey, Squirrels fans, this is Parney. Are you heading to the office more and worried about leaving your pup home all alone? Wolfie's Doggy Day School offers closely managed play groups that provide an all-day educational experience for your best friend. Plus, they can pick up your pooch. Their fleet of Wolfie buses has 18 convenient stops throughout Greater Richmond, making getting your dog to the ranch easy palsy. Wolfie also offers comprehensive wellness, boarding, and grooming services at the ranch. Hey, I know these guys, and they truly care about your 4-legged family members. Check them out. See what makes the Wolfie Wellness Ranch the best in Richmond at wolfiebus.com.
Every pitch, all season long. It's Richmond Flying Squirrel Baseball on Sports Radio 910 The Fan.
Justice Bigby leads it off for the Seawolves here in the home half of the second inning in Erie. Seawolves ahead 2-0 over the Flying Squirrels thanks to the 2-run homer by Tyron Lorenzo in the first inning. Left-hander Joe Whitman back on the mound. He had his first strikeout of the game to close out the first. And the first one he offers home is fouled behind home plate, rattles up in the upper deck, and then goes to the lower bowl for a souvenir and strike 1. Bigby is in right field tonight for the Seawolves. He's hitting .259 this season. He swings and misses at the next pitch. Outside slider by Whitman. 43 hits, 5 home runs, and 29 RBIs for Justice Bigby, who was born in Chesapeake, Virginia, not where the Bay Sox claim to be from. 0-2. Bounced in the dirt. That was spiked about 6 feet in front of home plate. And it goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Justice Bigby, the Chesapeake, Virginia native, played at Western Carolina. Drafted by the Tigers in the 19th round in 2021. 1-2 pitch, coming home. Bigby grounds it sharply to short, out of reach of Arteaga, into left field. Leadoff single for the Seawolves as Bigby reaches. And now here's the center fielder, Roberto Campos. Now, we told you about some of the roster moves that were made earlier today. Also have a few more to tell you about. Part 2. Bryce Eldridge was called up to AAA Sacramento. As first pitch to Roberto Campos sails in. That's a called strike. He had a very good month of May with Richmond and wishing Bryce all the best. Also, right-handed pitcher Trent Harris was called up to AAA Sacramento. Wishing the best for him as well. Those two guys had excellent seasons to begin this year with Richmond. Check swing, appeal down to first. He did not offer. And Campos has a 1 ball and 1 strike count. Eldridge, the Fairfax County, Virginia native, and Trent Harris grew up not too far away from Richmond, down in North Carolina. 1-1 count, the pitch. And a fly ball over to left field, playable for Turner Hill. Scampers forward and makes the grab. That's out number one. Eduardo Valencia due up. Yeah, especially for Eldridge, excellent start to the year for him. Overall, 280 batting average with 7 home runs to lead the Flying Squirrels. Had 20 RBIs in 34 games played with Richmond. And the first pitch to Valencia misses near the shoot tops for ball 1. And then for Harris, too. He was a very solid bullpen arm for the Flying Squirrels. And when you know it's time, it's time. Set by Whitman with a runner at first. And the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed by Valencia to even the count. So both Trent Harris and Bryce Eldridge getting the call up to AAA Sacramento. 1-1 pitch coming home to Valencia. That misses low and outside to move the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And in fact, for Harris, he had allowed runs in just 1 appearance this year with Richmond, which was 3 against the Binghamton Rumble Ponies on the road. His other appearances, he put up zeros. 2-1 offer. Taken outside for a ball. And it's now a 3-1 count for Valencia. And AAA Sacramento is on the road this week. They're facing the Sugarland Space Cowboys. AAA team for the Houston Astros. 3 balls, 1 strike, the pitch. Valencia flies it over to left field, backs uphill towards the warning track, and he makes the grab right by his ball cap. That holds Bigby over at first. And back-to-back flyouts to left field for the Seawolves. It brings up the 9-hole hitter, Jim Jarvis. 2 runs for the Seawolves, none for the Flying Squirrels. Lefty on lefty as Whitman sets at the belt. Looks over to first, now fires. And a bouncing ball towards first base, backhanded by Barracoto. Tosses to the pitcher, covering, and Whitman wins the race over that way to get out number 3. No runs for the Seawolves on 1 hit, and one runner left on. 2-0 lead for Erie. We go to the third here on Sports Radio 910 The Fan, 105.1 FM.
Hey y'all, this is attorney Craig Davis with Reinhardt Harper Davis. According to Virginia Lawyers Weekly, Reinhardt Harper Davis has the 4 largest workers' compensation settlements in Virginia history. What makes us so exceptional? It's that we care deeply about our clients and we work relentlessly to ensure that you get the largest possible settlement in your case. No matter the workplace injury, Reinhardt Harper Davis has the experience and expertise to help you through this challenging time.
Call Reinhardt Harper Davis at 804-359-5500 or online at vacomplaw.com.
Backed by popular demand, Uncorked and Unplugged, starring Gavin DeGraw.
Gavin DeGraw is awesome.
Don't miss this intimate acoustic concert with Gavin DeGraw to kick off summer on Saturday, June 21st at 6 p.m. at the incomparable Williamsburg Winery. Tickets are on sale now at uncorkedandunpluggedva.com. VIP exclusive seating is available, as well as a select number of meet and greet packages for Gavin's biggest fans. Gavin DeGraw.
Gavin is amazing in concert.
Live at the Williamsburg Winery for the return of Uncorked and Unplugged, Saturday, June 21st at 6 p.m. Lawn chairs and blankets are welcome. Gavin DeGraw. It's the return of Uncorked and Unplugged.
Richmond's home for Flying Squirrels baseball. Sports Radio 910 The Fan.
Flying Squirrels trailing the Seawolves 2-0 here in the top of the third inning. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up with Sabine Ceballos leading things off. First pitch on the way from Bergner is a breaking ball that misses inside for ball 1. 2 strikeouts so far in the ball game for Austin Bergner. Hasn't been a consistent starter with the Seawolves this year. This is only his second start. 1-0 pitch misses outside at 92. Very close to the outside edge, but it works in Ceballos' favor. Two balls and no strikes. Bergner from the windup. Stalls, now deals. And a fly ball over to shallow left center field. Mendoza calls everybody off. Now it's the center fielder Campos who takes over and makes the catch for out number one. A little bit of a tie-up between Campos and Mendoza on the communication, but they figured it out. And that's the first out of the third inning on the fly out to center. Adrian Sugasti next up for the Flying Squirrels. They had a hit back in the first inning, but then a line out and a double play wiped the base runner out. First pitch to Sugasti. Taken low and outside for a ball. Fastball at 92. And this is the first time this season that Bergner has faced the Flying Squirrels. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. A tad outside to make it 2 balls and no strikes. He has faced the Flying Squirrels in his career dating back to 2022 with Erie, but has faced only 3 players on the active Richmond roster in his career: Carter Howell, Ira Pomaris, and Sugasti. 2-0 pitch. Taken for a called strike to make it 2-1. Over the 2 games that Adrian has faced Bergner, he's gone hitless in 4 at-bats. It does have an RBI against him. 2-1 offer on the way. And a foul to the back screen to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sugasti in a little bit of a slump lately. Dipped his average down to 189 on the year. He hasn't had a hit in the last 7 games, dating back to May 24th. 2-2 pitch. Sugasti takes low and outside. Tried to hunt for the outside corner with the slider, but it missed. Now Sugasti behind the plate has been excellent for the Flying Squirrels, leading the Eastern League in runners caught stealing at 17. Payoff pitch is down the right field line, hooking near the chalk, and it goes fair. Bounces in for a base hit near the Flying Squirrels bullpen. Sugasti's off to second. He slides in safe, and that cold streak is no more. That's exactly what Sugasti needed. 1 out double for the Flying Squirrels, and now a runner in scoring position for Iverson Arteaga to work with. That was a low fastball from Bergner and handled the opposite way by Sugasti. Looked like it was staying even with the foul line from our vantage point, but then dropped in to the left of the foul line about 3 feet. So now here's Iverson Arteaga. Flying Squirrels trailing at 2-0 as the first pitch is a called strike at the bottom of the zone. The 2 bullpens here at UPMC Park are in play. How the stadium configures, there's a stand that there's some stands that jut out, and a corner is right by the foul line. Kind of blocks the bullpen from those foul shots. Next one home to Arteaga, misses low to even the count. Same kind of setup for the Seawolves bullpen down the left field line. But how that hit for Sugasti went, bounced on the warning track in fairground, and then went in between the bullpen mound and home plate where the bullpens are set up. 1-1 count. Now the pitch. Arteaga sends a towering fly ball to center field, but right at Roberto Campos. Just has to move a few steps to his left and makes the catch. Second out of the inning, and now it's the leadoff man Diego Velasquez up at the plate for Richmond. Virginia Urology wants to remind you that men over the age of 40 should talk with their doctor about prostate cancer screening. Early detection is key, and a 3-second test could save your life. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Seawolves, no runs on 2 hits for the Flying Squirrels. Switch hitter Diego Velasquez in the left-handed box against Austin Bergner. Delivers. The ball bounced in front of home plate, but blocked by Lorenzo. And that moves Sugasti back over to second base. Oh, for one night so far for Velasquez. He flied out to left field, but Mendoza with an excellent sliding catch to rob Diego of a base hit. He's got a 1-ball and no strike count. Bergner sets and fires. Pitch misses low. And it goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Beautiful day here in Erie, and there's a good crowd filing in. A lot of them down the third baseline. 2-0 pitch. There's a called strike. And quite a few fans going over to the right side by the Flying Squirrels dugout, soaking up the sun. Usually when we're in Erie, it's common for a lot of overcast skies because of its close distance to the lake. 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. But tonight, very pleasant. Even talking with some of the Erie staff members, they were expecting a pretty good walk-up for tonight. Not only with the promotions, but also the weather. And this is the first clear, sunny day that the Erie area has had for the last week or so. 3-1 pitch. Velasquez takes inside for ball 4. So he reaches on a 5-pitch walk. And now runners at first and second for the Flying Squirrels. Carter Howell is due up. I chatted with some of the Seawolves staff members, and they said that they had rain for the last week or so around the whole area. It seemed to be the common theme across the Eastern League for the last 2 weeks. Even down in Richmond, had some rain showers in the last homestand against the Senators. 2-0 lead for the Seawolves. Carter Howell up at the plate for the second time tonight. He singled back in the first. Bergner's first pitch. Slider misses outside, ball 1. This is the first time that Bergner has really had to face any traffic on the bases. Got the first out quickly, but allowed a double to Sugasti. 1-0 pitch. That misses low and in. Fastball at 91 miles per hour. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. After allowing the double, he induced a fly out to center field. And then Velasquez drew a walk against Bergner. Counts 2-0 for Carter Howell. The pitch. And the fastball misses upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes. A little bit of a loss of control now for Bergner. Only thrown 1 strike in his last 9 pitches. Sugasti off of second. Velasquez off of first. 3-0. Carter's taken all the way, and there's a called strike. Inside fastball at 92. Howell, the Flying Squirrels 2024 MVP. That single he had back in the first inning was his 30th hit of the year. Here's the 3-1. Flied it foul behind home plate and out of play. Seawolves 2, Flying Squirrels nothing in the top of the 3rd inning. Carter Howell, the Eastern League Player of the Week at the beginning of May, where he shared that honor with Flying Squirrels pitcher and Eastern League Pitcher of the Week, Joe Whitman, who gets the start tonight. Payoff pitch. Howell lines this up the middle for a base hit into center field. Sugasti turns around third. He comes home to score. Throw goes to the cutoff man, and the Flying Squirrels are down by 1. 2-1 lead for Erie, but 2 singles in the game for Carter Howell. This one with an RBI tacked on. RBI number 9 on the season for Carter Howell. Great at bat, working a lot of pitches against Bergner. And sent a liner right to center field. Velasquez advanced to third base on the play. And now with 2 outs and runners at the corners, here's Victor Barracoto. First pitch on its way. Bounces in the dirt, blocked by Lorenzo, can't find it. But now he recovers, and that holds Howell at first base. At about 2 steps towards second, but decided to hold up his stride. Barracoto is a power threat for the Flying Squirrels. This season between Richmond and Sacramento, he has 6 homers. Next pitch chases after a high fastball, and that evens the count at 1-1. While he was with the AAA Sacramento Rivercats, Barracoto had an injury and had to go back to the Complex League for a rehab assignment. Pickoff throw to first. Howell is able to dive back. And over 6 games for Barracoto down in Arizona, that was a get-right week for him. 11 hits in 6 games for the Giants, scored 6 times, and had 2 homers. 1-1 pitch. Taken for a called strike. Fastball at 91. He also had 12 RBIs over the 6 games down in Arizona. So looking for that same kind of power here with Richmond. When he was here with the Flying Squirrels in 13 games, he had 3 homers and 8 RBIs. Next pitch, Howell's breaking for second, misses outside, and no throw by Lorenzo. That's a stolen base for Carter Howell up to second. And with 2 balls and 2 strikes, runners are at second and third for the Squirrels. Time called for by Bergner. And now a mound visit coming up for the Seawolves. Catcher Lorenzo goes in front of home plate and wants to have a conversation with his starting pitcher. So fans of the Flying Squirrels score 5 runs today. You can score $5 off at Toast New American Gastropub at Scotts Walk tomorrow. Just show the box score, rock your Squirrels gear, and enjoy their from-scratch kitchen. It's walking distance from the diamond. Make Toast your go-to spots. So just a brief mound visit for the Seawolves. Lorenzo trots back behind home plate, trying to see how they can get Barracoto out on a 2-ball and 2-strike count. Next pitch. Barracoto swings and misses for strike 3. Elevated the slider, it dipped to the outer half, and Barry goes down on strikes. Flying Squirrels, though, strike for 1 with the RBI single by Carter Howell, and it's 2-1 Seawolves as we go to the bottom of the third on Sports Radio 910 The Fan, 105.1 FM.
Richmond Flying Squirrel fans know that if you want to strengthen your road game, you need to rent with Enterprise. They've got the perfect lineup of vehicles for following the Squirrels on their next road trip. Car on the injured list, Enterprise to the rescue with a replacement vehicle. And if you really want to swing for the fences, rent from Enterprise Exotics. When Flying Squirrel fans are ready, Enterprise is ready. Enterprise, official partner of the Richmond Flying Squirrels.
Team Fishel, the best choice in utility engineering and construction, is hiring for their Greater Richmond area construction and professional services operations, including electrical line workers, directional drillers, CDLA drivers, equipment operators, fiber splicers, laborers, designers, and administrative teammates. We offer competitive pay, benefits, and career opportunities. This is more than just a job. Learn more and apply at teamfisheljobs.com/centralva. That's teamfisheljobs.com/centralva. Team Fishel, your future, your team. Team Fishel is an equal opportunity employer, drug-free workplace, and proud member of Virginia Values Veterans.
Puritan Cleaners is in your neighborhood. Enjoy free pickup and delivery right at your door. You don't even have to be home. Puritan Cleaners dry cleaning and shirt services have been voted Richmond's best for over 30 years. Come see why. Need more time? Take laundry off your to-do list with Puritan Cleaners Wash Dry Fold service. The Puritan Cleaners team has earned over 4,000 5-star reviews. They are the reason we can say, at Puritan, it's right, it's ready, or it's free.
From the Boulevard to Browns Island and beyond, it's Flying Squirrels Baseball with Trey Wilson and Blaine McCormick.
Flying Squirrels trailing the Seawolves 2-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Joe Whitman back on the hill as he faces the top of the order for the Seawolves with Trey Cruz. And the first pitch misses outside to make it 1 ball and no strikes. Seawolves did have a leadoff single back in the second, but Whitman took care of it 1, 2, and 3 after that. Next one home to Cruz is cut on and missed. That time a fastball at 91 from the lefty, and it goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Whitman deals. High fastball that time to move the count to 2 balls and a strike. Trey Cruz, a switch hitter batting from the right side tonight. Whitman deals home, and it misses outside to move the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Good year for him with a .262 batting average and 6 home runs. 3-1 pitch is in the air to right field, playable for Cal Mitchell. Trots forward, now it's the second baseman Velasquez who goes back, makes the catch. Nearly fell backwards as he had to reach behind his shoulders to get the fly ball, but he was able to clasp it. So a pop out to Velasquez over at second. That's out number 1, and here is Carlos Mendoza. He had a single back in the first inning and later scored on the 2-run homer by Tyron Lorenzo. Seawolves had their 2 runs off of that homer in the first. Now the pitch is a fly ball over to shallow right field again. Velasquez ranging back, calls everybody off, makes the catch one more time. And on the transfer just kind of stood like a statue. And I think the bullpen was giving him a little bit of support there. Saw a few thumbs up from the bullpen arms over to Velasquez, and he pointed towards them. So back-to-back pop-outs for Velasquez. But the sun right in his eyes. First pitch to Max Anderson. Misses low and in for ball 1. Now the sun sets here at UPMC Park. It goes over towards the third base side and casts a lot of shadows that are covering most of left field and the back half of center field. 1-0 pitch is a fly ball deep over to center field. Howe sprinting back over to the warning track. It's out of here. Another home run for the Seawolves, this time with 2 outs for Max Anderson. And a solo homer makes it 3-1 Seawolves. Got a hold of a low breaking ball and drove it 409 feet out to center. And all the runs that the Seawolves have scored tonight have been off of the long ball. First one home to Tyron Lorenzo, misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Lorenzo, the reason the Seawolves had their first 2 runs back in the first inning. 1-0 pitch, misses outside. He had a 2-run homer against Whitman that also brought home Mendoza. And that was a monster home run over to left field off of the Erie Insurance Arena. Pitch is a called strike to make it 2 balls and a strike. And the arena that houses a professional hockey team and a lot of concerts. The 2-1 pitch. A foul off the bat of Lorenzo to even the count. One of the walls that supports the arena is also a playable wall here at UPMC Park. A lot of sponsorship signs on a pretty tall wall out in left field. But where Lorenzo hit it, it might have gone on the top of the arena. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch. That misses in the dirt to fill up the count at 3-2. That home run for Lorenzo was his 7th on the season. Anderson just flied his 8th homer out of the ballpark. Payoff pitch. And a bouncing ball foul. The Seawolves as a team have been big home run hitters this year. They are second in the Eastern League with 49 homers. 3-2 pitch. Misses high for ball 4. That puts Lorenzo over at first base with 2 outs. Now Erie in second place in the Eastern League with 49 home runs. Right above them is the Somerset Patriots, who have hit 54 round trippers as a team. So Jake Holton is the batter for the Seawolves. They have a 3-1 lead over Richmond. First pitch. Holton takes a breaking ball for a called strike. He struck out swinging against Whitman back in the first inning. Right-handed batter against the left-handed pitcher. On 1 count, the pitch home. Too far inside with a 94 fastball. And it goes even at 1-1. And this is the most runs that Whitman has allowed since giving up 4 against the Harrisburg Senators on May 9th. 1-1 pitch is a foul back to the screen. But Whitman has still produced a lot of quality appearances this year. Most runs he's allowed in a start has been 4. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And a liner up the middle for a base hit. Lorenzo turns around second base. He's headed for third. The throw there is a tad late. Ceballos throws on to second, but Holton slides in safe. It's a single for Jake Holton. He stretched it over to second base on the throw. And now all of a sudden the Seawolves have a 2-out rally going with runners at second and third. And Justice Bigby, who already has 1 hit tonight, is up at home plate. Seawolves ahead 3-1. Benefit for Whitman, though, he does have 2 outs to work with. Trying to escape away from this third inning with only 1 run against him. He kicks and fires. Bigby takes the slider outside, ball 1. The Seawolves with 3 runs and 5 hits. Flying Squirrels with 1 run and 3 hits so far in the ball game. Whitman is set and delivers the 1-0. Taken for a high strike. That one at 93. I think at first Bigby might have thought that was coming in, but it was towards the outer half. He flinched out of the way. Now the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at second and third for the Seawolves. As the pitch misses high and in. And it moves the count to 2-1. Bigby had a leadoff single in the second inning, but was stranded over at first after a couple flyouts and a ground out by Whitman. Glance over to third where Lorenzo takes his lead. The 2-1 pitch. Bigby lines it to second base over the leap of Velasquez, just an inch above his glove. Lorenzo scores. Coming home now is Holton, and he slides in safe. Seawolves add 2 more runs on the board, and it's 5-1 in the bottom of the third inning.
Now the center fielder, number 11,
4 straight base runners for the Seawolves, and a 2-run single by Justice Bigby gives the Wolves a 5-1 lead. All of this with 2 outs, and all 5 runs for the Seawolves have scored with 2 outs. Now pitching coach Paul Oseguera is out to have a conversation with Trey Jester about the ball rolling into the dugout. Manager Dennis Pelfrey is now over to talk with the plate umpire. On the throw, it looked like the ball, as it went behind Sugasti, it rolled into the dugout. So I think the argument here is that only 1 run should have scored on that play. Pelf talking things over with Jester about halfway down the first baseline. And the first base umpire, Garrett Griffin, comes in to talk things over as well. Pelf is pointing over to the dugout, and I believe the conversation is that on the throw, the ball went into the dugout. There is a mound visit being charged to the Flying Eagles, and that conversation with Pelf and the plate umpire Trey Jester breaks up. So both runs count. It's a 5-1 lead for the Seawolves. And a 2-run single for Justice Bigby. Well, an unlucky break for Joe Whitman. He is now up to 51 pitches in his start. trying to escape away from the third inning. First pitch to Roberto Campos. Swinging a fly ball foul and out of play for strike one. Set by Whitman. The 0-1 pitch. Campos screams this one up the middle for a base hit. One bounce into center field for a single, and that pushes Bigby up to second base. And that's 3 straight hits for the Seawolves. And their 5th base runner of this third inning. Now it's the 8th batter of this inning to up Eduardo Valencia. Now, Whitman had a couple pop-outs out to second base. And then Anderson had a solo homer. Lorenzo walked. Holton had a single. Both of them scored on the 2-run base hit by Justice Bigby. And then Campos with a single to put runners at first and second. And the first pitch to Valencia misses outside for ball one. Valencia 0 for 1 tonight with a fly out to left. Whitman kicks and fires. There's a called strike on the slider to even the count at 1-1. On the season, Valencia hitting .294 with Erie in 31 games. 32 hits with 24 RBIs and 7 home runs. 1-1 pitch misses low and away. This is a Seawolves team that has been impressive with their offense at the beginning of the year, leading the Eastern League with a .260 batting average. 2-1 offer. Call the strike to even the count at 2s. Also leading the Eastern League in total hits, second in home runs. They lead the Eastern League with 101 doubles. The next closest opponent in terms of doubles is the Rumble Ponies with 86. So there are some power hitters in this Seawolves order. They're up 5-1 here in the bottom of the third, but Whitman trying to close it out. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and tapped into the glove of the catcher. First strike, well, no, hold on a minute. It was Trey Jester who pointed over to the catcher and then pointed both of his hands up for a foul ball, and Pelf is out of the dugout and wanting another explanation. That was just a brief one-word answer, I'm sure, because Pelf didn't even ease his stride. He pointed over to Sagasti, at first confirming that it was a swinging strike 3, foul tip in the glove, but I guess it hit the dirt. Now a 2-2 pitch. Way high with a fastball. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the plate umpire Jester threw his hands up, and the first base umpire also had his hands up for a foul ball on that swing. Everybody moving. 3-2 pitch. Valencia lines this to left field. Base hit. Now Bigby takes a turnaround third. The ball goes away from Turner Hill. Bigby scores. Campos scores. And Valencia ends up at second with 2 more runs home for the Seawolves. It is 7-1 Erie here in the third. And things have not gone Joe Whitman's way. That liner was over to shallow left field, and Hill was approaching the ball. And then as he went to pick it up off of the grass, it went right behind him. So a base hit for Eduardo Valencia. We'll see how this gets scored. But imagine they would charge an error to Turner Hill on the approach. Pitching coach Paul Oseguera is out to the mound to have a conversation with all the Flying Squirrels infielders. 5 runs home here in this third inning for Erie, and all with 2 outs. So Oseguera's conversation is over. And the second mound visit the Flying Squirrels have used. Some action is starting up in the Flying Squirrels Service Master Clean bullpen. Lefty on lefty match as Jim Jarvis is in the batter's box. First pitch taken outside, ball one on the 92 fastball. So they do credit Valencia with a single, and they charge Turner Hill with a fielding error. 1-0 pitch. And a bouncer foul over to first. So that error on Hill advanced Valencia to second base and allowed Campos to score. So only one RBI on the swing for Valencia. 1-1 toss to Jarvis. Swing and a miss. Chased after the outside slider. And it goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. This has been a long inning for Joe Whitman. This is the 9th batter he has faced just in this frame. 1-2 pitch. A fly ball lifted to left field, but it hooks foul into the crowd. After back-to-back pop-ups, home run, a 2-run single by Bigby, and then 2 runs scoring on the swing by Valencia. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. That ends the 3rd. The Seawolves strike big with 5 runs in the frame, and they lead at 7-1. We're through 3 here on Sports Radio 910 The Fan, 105.1 FM.
From the Pearson Signature Dealership Studio, this is the new Sports Radio 910 The Fan. Now at 105.1 FM, WRNL Richmond and WRVQ HD2 Richmond. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, baseball fans. Now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years, guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, they got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Don't call River City Roll a bowling alley. River City Roll is Richmond's entertainment scene with live music, a chef-inspired menu, heated outdoor patio, and boutique bowling. River City Roll also features the best live entertainment every Friday and Saturday night with no cover.
Start the weekend Friday, June 6th with Americana Classics from the Bart Tucker Band, followed by Old Fashioned Country Saturday night from the Dan Nichols Band.
There's something for everyone at River City Roll, off Arthur Ashe Boulevard near Scott's Addition. RiverCityRoll.com.
Do you need help finding the perfect piece of jewelry for your next special occasion? If so, you can rely on Luster to help you shine.
We're Robin and Daniel with Luster, voted Richmond's #1 jewelry store.
At Luster, we carry one of Richmond's best collections of designer jewelry.
We carry exclusively Jude Francis, Doves by Doron Paloma, Allure, Navadi, and DM Kordansky.
So stop by and check out the latest hand-picked designer jewelry exclusively at Luster.
You can find us in the Ridge Shopping Center and online at haveluster.com.
Every pitch, all season long. It's Richmond Flying Squirrels baseball on Sports Radio 910 The Fan.
Back here at UPMC Park in the top of the 4th inning. Flying Squirrels trailing the Seawolves 7-1. Turner Hill swinging away at the first pitch, driving it out to right field. A leaping grab over right by the wall by Justice Bigby. Robs Hill of a base hit. He was swinging away and saw the first pitch he liked from Bergner. Drove it 326 feet. But right in front of the wall, and Bigby made a nice leaping catch to save it from colliding with the wall. So now here's the 5th batter in the order for Richmond, Cal Mitchell. 0 for 1 with a ground out. First pitch, he takes a called strike. And it goes to 0-1. The Seawolves with a massive bottom of the 3rd, scoring 5 runs. They lead at 7-1. Next one to Mitchell, bounces in the dirt. And it goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bergner tosses the baseball aside. Gets a new one and is ready to go. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Way high that time. Lost control of the breaking ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike for Mitchell. Now, all 7 runs for the Seawolves tonight have scored with 2 outs. The pitch. Mitchell taps into the glove of the catcher for a strike. In fact, for the Flying Squirrels, their lone run was scored with 2 outs on the RBI single by Carter Howell in the 3rd inning. 2-2 pitch. Mitchell drives one foul to the screen. Bergner tonight with 3 strikeouts so far through 3 innings. Dealt with some traffic in the 3rd, ended up allowing just 1 run. Next one to Mitchell, misses low and in. And it goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. This season with the Squirrels, Cal is batting .175, couple home runs. Looking to get on base to start a Richmond rally. 3-2. On the ground, sharply to second, goes into right field for a base hit. Anderson dove for the ball right as the outfield grass meets the infield dirt, but it was out of reach. So the first hit for Cal Mitchell tonight, and the 4th one overall for the Flying Squirrels. Now here's the left-handed hitter, Jairo Pomares. A decent amount of left-handed batters in the order tonight for Dennis Pelfrey's lineup. 4, 5, and 6 hitters, all left-handed. First one to Pomares. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and the strike called at the bottom of the zone. Curveball issued by Bergner that time makes it 0-1. Mitchell a few steps away from first. Now the 0-1 pitch. Well hit by Pomares into the right center field gap. That touches down for a base hit and rolls to the wall. Mitchell's flying around the base paths. He turns around to third. He comes home to score, and it's an RBI double by Jairo Pomares. And trims the deficit to 7-2 here in the 4th inning. But another base hit for Jairo here lately. And Mitchell sprinting from first all the way home. So it's an RBI double for Pomares, and now here's Sabine Ceballos working with a runner in scoring position. Even though the Flying Squirrels are down by 5 runs, still have some bats that have been productive this season. 7-2 lead for Erie. And the first one home to Sabine. He takes a called strike. High slider that time by Bergner to make it 0-1. 2 runs and 5 hits for the Flying Squirrels. 7 runs and 8 hits for the Seawolves. Bergner sets. Now the 0-1 pitch. And a fly foul off the bat of Ceballos to make it 0-2. Just notice with Pomares over at second base, he's got a new sliding mitt. Some of the Flying Squirrels have these mitts where the sliding mitt itself is actually nutsy on the cover. 0-2 count, the pitch. Pomares is breaking for second. Pitch misses low, and no throw by Lorenzo to try and get Pomares out at third base. Feet first slide that time by Pomares, and it's a stolen base to move him up 90 feet. So with 1 out and a runner at third base, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes for Ceballos. And the pitch by Bergner. Low and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Pomares has that new sliding mitt on his right hand, where at the top of the mitt, it is Nutsy's face on what covers his arm or his hand and the tops of his fingers. Have a new piece of equipment and having some fun with it. So you know, the mascot on the hand can give the Flying Squirrels some mojo. Time is called for. I believe it was the catcher Lorenzo that called for the timeout. A 2-2 count for Ceballos. Next pitch on the way. And Ceballos gets a piece of it foul and out of play. Sliding mid for Pomaris has Nutsy on his right hand. He goes over to talk with third base coach and manager Dennis Pelfrey.